better to search your own mind devotedly than to read and recite innumerable sutras and dharma every day for countless years. Such endeavors, which are but formalities, produce some merit, but this merit expires, and again you must experience the suffering of the three evil paths. Because searching one's own mind leads ultimately to enlightenment, this practice is a prerequisite to becoming a Buddha. No matter whether you have committed either the 10 evil deeds or the 5 deadly sins, if you turn back your mind and enlighten yourself, you are a Buddha instantly. But do not commit sins and expect to be saved by enlightenment from the effects of your own actions. For neither enlightenment nor a Buddha nor a Bodhisattva can save a person who, lost in delusion, goes down evil ways. Imagine a child sleeping next to its parents and dreaming it is being beaten or is painfully sick. The parents cannot help the child, no matter how much it suffers, for no one can enter the dreaming mind of another. If the child could awaken itself, it could be freed of this suffering automatically. In the same way, one who realizes that one's own mind is Buddha is instantly free from the sufferings arising from ignorance of the law of ceaseless change of birth and death. If Buddhas could prevent it, would they allow even one sentient being to fall into hell? 5. Without self-realization one cannot understand such things as these. What kind of master is it that this very moment sees colors with the eyes and hears voices with the ears, that now raises the hands and moves the feet? We know these are functions of our own mind, but no one knows precisely how they are performed. It may be asserted that behind these actions there is no entity, yet it is obvious they are being performed spontaneously. Conversely, it may be maintained that these are the acts of some entity. Still the entity is invisible. If one regards this question as unfathomable, all attempts to reason out an answer will cease and one will be at a loss to know what to do. In this propitious state deepen and deepen the yearning, tirelessly, to the extreme. When the profound questioning penetrates to the very bottom, and that bottom is broken open, not the slightest doubt will remain that your own mind is itself Buddha, the void universe. There will then be no anxiety about life or death, no truth to search for. In a dream you may stray and lose your way home. You ask someone to show you how to return or you pray to God or Buddhas to help you, but still you can't get home. Once you rouse yourself from your dream state, however, you find that you are in your own bed and realize that the only way you could have gotten home was to awaken yourself. This kind of spiritual awakening is called return to the origin or rebirth in paradise. It is the kind of inner realization that can be achieved with some training. Virtually all who like Zazen and make an effort in practice, be they lay people or monks, can experience to this degree. But even such partial awakening cannot be attained except through the practice of Zazen. You would be making a serious error, however, were you to assume that this was true enlightenment in which there is no doubt about the nature of reality. You would be like one who having found copper gives up the desire for gold. Upon such realization question yourself even more intensely in this wise. My body is like a phantom, like bubbles on a stream. My mind, looking into itself, is as formless as empty space, yet somewhere within sounds are perceived. Who is hearing? Should you question yourself in this wise with profound absorption, never slackening the intensity of your effort, your rational mind eventually will exhaust itself and only questioning at the deepest level will remain. Finally you will lose awareness of your own body. Your long-held conceptions and notions will perish. After absolute questioning, in the way that every drop of water vanishes from a tub broken open at the bottom, and perfect enlightenment will follow like flowers suddenly blooming on withered trees. With such realization you achieve true emancipation. But even now repeatedly cast off what has been realized, turning back to the subject that realizes, that is, to the root bottom, and resolutely go on. Your self-nature will then grow brighter and more transparent as your delusive feelings perish. Like a gem gaining luster under repeated polishing, until at last it positively illumines the entire universe. Don't doubt this. Should your yearning be too weak to lead you to this state in your present lifetime, You will undoubtedly gain self-realization easily in the next, provided you are still engaged in this questioning at death, just as yesterday's work half done was finished easily today. In Zazen neither despise nor cherish the thoughts that arise. Only search your own mind, the very source of these thoughts. You must understand that anything appearing in your consciousness or seen by your eyes is an illusion, of no enduring reality. Hence you should neither fear nor be fascinated by such phenomena. If you keep your mind as empty as space, unstained by extraneous matters, no evil spirits can disturb you even on your deathbed. While engaged in Zazen, however, keep none of this counsel in mind. You must only become the question: what is this mind? Or what is it that hears these sounds? When you realize this mind, you will know that it is the very source of all Buddhas and sentient beings. The Bodhisattva Canon Avalokitesvara is so called because he attained enlightenment by perceiving, that is, grasping the source of the sounds of the world about him. At work, at rest, never stop trying to realize who it is that hears. Even though your questioning penetrates the unconscious, you won't find the one who hears, and all your efforts will come to naught. Yet sounds can be heard, so question yourself to an even profounder level. At last every vestige of self-awareness will disappear and you will feel like a cloudless sky. Within yourself you will find no I, nor will you discover anyone who hears. This mind is like the void, yet it hasn't a single spot that can be called empty. Do not mistake this state for self-realization, but continue to ask yourself even more intensely, now who is it that hears? If you bore into this question, oblivious to anything else, even this feeling of voidness will vanish and you won't be aware of anything. Total darkness will prevail. Don't stop here, but keep asking with all your strength, what is it that hears? Only when you have completely exhausted the questioning will the question burst. Now you will feel like someone who has come back from the dead. This is true realization. You will see the Buddhas of all the universes face to face and the Dharma ancestors past and present. Test yourself with this koan. A monk asked Joshu, "What is the meaning of Bodhidharma's coming to China?" Joshu replied, "The oak tree in the garden." 6. Should this koan leave you with the slightest doubt, you need to resume questioning, what is it that hears? If you don't come to realization in this present life, when will you? Once you have died you won't be able to avoid a long period of suffering in the three evil paths. 7. What is obstructing realization? Nothing but your own half-hearted desire for truth. Think of this and exert yourself to the utmost. The letters. 1. To a man from Kumasaka. You ask me to write you how to practice Zen on your sickbed. Who is he that is sick? Who is he that is practicing Zen? Do you know who you are? One's whole being is Buddha nature. One's whole being is the Great Way. The substance of this way is inherently immaculate and transcends all forms. Is there any sickness in it? Your own mind is the essential substance of all Buddhas, your face before your parents' birth. It is the matter of seeing and hearing, of all the senses. One who fully realizes this is a Buddha, one who does not is an ordinary human being. Hence all Buddhas and ancestral teachers point directly to the human mind so people can see their own self-nature and thereby attain Buddhahood. For the best relief for one perplexed by shadows is to see the real thing. Once a man was invited to the home of a friend. As he was about to drink a cup of wine offered him, he believed he saw a baby snake inside his cup. Not wishing to embarrass his host by drawing attention to it, he bravely swallowed it. Upon returning home he felt severe pains in his stomach. Many remedies were applied but in vain, and the man, now grievously ill, felt he was about to die. His friend, hearing of his condition, asked him once more to his home. Seating his friend in the same place, he again offered him a cup of wine, telling him it was medicine. As the ailing man raised his cup to drink, once again he saw a baby snake in it. This time he drew his host's attention to it. Without a word the host pointed to the ceiling above his guest, where a bough hung. Suddenly the sick man realized that the baby snake was the reflection of the hanging bough. Both men looked at each other and laughed. The pain of the sick man vanished instantly and he recovered his health. Becoming a Buddha is analogous to this. Master Yoka said, when you realize the true nature of the universe, you know that there is neither subjective nor objective reality. At that very moment, karmic formations which would carry you to the lowest hell are wiped out. This true nature is the root substance of every sentient being. Human beings, however, can't bring themselves to believe that their own minds are the great completeness realized by the Buddha, so they cling to superficial forms and look for truth outside this mind, striving to become Buddhas through ascetic practices. But as the illusion of an ego self does not vanish, people must undergo intense suffering in the three worlds. They are like the one who became sick believing he had swallowed a baby snake. Various remedies were of no avail, but he recovered instantly upon realizing the basic truth. So just look into your own mind. No one can help you with nostrums. In a sutra the Buddha said, if you would get rid of your foe, you have only to realize that that foe is delusion. All phenomena in the world are illusory. They have no abiding substance. Sentient beings no less than Buddhas are like images reflected in water. One who does not see the true nature of things mistakes shadow for substance. That is to say, in Zazen the state of emptiness and quiet which results from the diminution of thought is often confused with one's face before one's parents were born. But this serenity is also a reflection upon the water. You must advance beyond the stage where your reason is of any avail. In this extremity of not knowing what to think or do, ask yourself, who is the master? This one will become your intimate only after you have broken a walking stick made from a rabbit's horn or crushed a chunk of ice in fire. Tell me now, who is this most intimate of yours? Today is the 8th of the month. Tomorrow is the 13th. 2. To the abyss of Shinryuji. In order to become a Buddha you must discover who it is that wants to become a Buddha. To know this subject you must right here and now probe deeply into yourself, inquiring, what is it that thinks in terms of good and bad, that sees, that hears? If you question yourself profoundly in this wise, you will surely enlighten yourself. If you enlighten yourself, you are instantly a Buddha. The mind which the Buddhas realized in their enlightenment is the mind of all sentient beings. The substance of this mind is pure, harmonizing with its surroundings. In a woman's body it has no female form, in a man's body it has no appearance of male. It is not mean even in the body of the lowly, nor is it imposing in the body of the noble. Like boundless space, it hasn't a particle of color. The physical world can be destroyed, but formless, colorless space is indestructible. This mind, like space, is all-embracing. It does not come into existence with the creation of our body, nor does it perish with its disintegration. Though invisible, it suffuses our body, and every single act of seeing, hearing, smelling, speaking, or moving the hands and legs is simply the activity of this mind. Whoever searches for Buddha and truth outside this mind is deluded. Whoever directly perceives that one's own intrinsic nature is precisely that of a Buddha is himself, or herself, a Buddha. There has never been a Buddha who has not realized this mind, and every last being within the 6 realms of existence is perfectly endowed with it. The words of a sutra in Buddha there is no discrimination confirms this. Everyone who has realized this mind and attained to Buddhahood wants to make it known to others. But ordinary people, clinging stupidly to superficial forms, find it hard to believe in this purposeless Dharmakaya, this pure, true Buddha. To give it a name, Buddhas resort to such metaphors as treasure gem of free will, great path, Amitabha Buddha, Buddha of supreme knowledge, Jizo, Canon, Fujian, one's face before one's parents were born. The Bodhisattva Jizo 8 is the guide through the 6 realms of existence. He being the symbol of the power which controls the 6 senses. Every epithet of a Buddha or a Bodhisattva is simply a different designation for the one mind. If one believes in one's own Buddha mind, it is the same as believing in all Buddhas. Thus in a sutra we read, the 3 worlds are but one mind. Outside this mind nothing exists. Mind, Buddha, and sentient beings are one, they are not to be differentiated. Since the sutras deal only with this mind, to realize it is to accomplish at one stroke the reading and understanding of all the sutras. One sutra says, "The teachings of the sutras are like a finger pointing to the moon." These teachings are the sermons that have been preached by all the Buddhas. Pointing to the moon is pointing to the one mind of sentient beings. Just as it is said that the moon shines upon both sides of the earth, in the same way the one mind illumines the inner and outer world. When it is said, then, that great merit can be derived from reciting the sutras. This means what has just been said and nothing more. 9 Again, it is said that through services for the Buddha one can attain Buddhahood, but to attain Buddhahood simply means to realize this mind. Thus the merit of realizing this one mind in a single-minded instant is infinitely greater than that of reciting the sutras for 10,000 days. Just as perceiving one's own mind in a moment of single-mindedness is incomparably greater than hearing for 10,000 years why this is so. But just as one must progress from shallow to deep by degrees, so is it a blessing for beginners, either deluded or